Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I have a book haul to share with you. This is really cool. There is a shopping centre which is not too far from our apartment, and they have one of those libraries where you leave books and you can take books to keep. So it's like an exchange library. And it's right inside the shopping centre, which is very, very cool. So I managed to find some books in English, which is always exciting. So this is the first one that I got. Now, yes, I have read this book already, so I will link up to the review for you. But I loved it. It was one that I got lent by a friend of mine. And I really, really loved it. Obviously, she was just lending it to me, so I had to give her back her copy of it. So it's kind of cool to have my own copy of it. This, for those of you that don't know about this is Elizabeth is in her 30s, settled in a large house with a husband who wants to start a family. But she doesn't want any of it. A bitter divorce and a rebound fling later, Elizabeth emerges battered, yet determined to find what she's been missing. So begins her quest. In Rome, she indulges herself and gains nearly 2 stone. In India, she finds enlightenment through scrubbing temple floors. Finally, in Bali, a toothless medicine man reveals a new path to peace, leaving her ready to love again. So, yes, I really liked this book. I'm always on the lookout for books which have a setting in Rome particularly, well, Italy in general, but Rome specifically, because it's where I live, and so I always enjoy those kind of books, seeing, how good they are with the descriptions and stuff. Next one I picked up, this one here. Okay, so we've got Infidelities. Okay, so it was no ordinary betrayal. Then something about Annie and Seth Peterson had ever been ordinary. Engaged in medical research that frequently made front-page news, Seth was the golden boy for whom the Nobel Prize was just around the corner. And Annie was that special kind of woman who had the power and determination to realize her own potential as a singer, as well as assisting her husband in fulfilling his ambitions. Together, the Petersons were the darlings of New York's most glamorous musical and medical circles. Yet, as their dreams begin to take shape, Annie felt an agonizing, torturing doubt. But there was no smear of lipstick, no stray earring, no scraps of paper, nothing to confirm the dread that after 10 years of happy marriage, her husband was having an affair. All she knew for certain was that their world was falling apart. So I thought that was kind of exciting there. I thought that could be a good one. So if you've read it, no spoilers please, but please do let me know if you thought it was any good. Also, I've not read anything by the author before, so it's a first time for me as well. Then we have Netherland, this one here. What do you do when your wife takes your child and leaves you alone in the city of ghosts? Hans van der Broek chooses cricket. Alone in a terrorized city, struggling to understand the disappearance from his life of people, places and feelings, he seeks refuge in the games of his childhood. But New York cricket is a long way from the tranquil sport that he grew up with. It's a rough, almost secret game played in scrubby, marginal urban parks by people the city doesn't see. People like Chuck Ramkisson. Years later, when the body is pulled out of the New York channel, hands tied behind its back, Hans is forced to remember his unusual friendship with Chuck, dream of visionary and perhaps something darker. This is interesting. Okay, I grew up with cricket being like quite an important part of like childhood, because my granddad played cricket, my dad played cricket, my brother played cricket, and it was kind of, we would always be at cricket basically, or well, at least on the weekends, but also other times sometimes, and like me and my mum would make the teas for the cricket teas and stuff like that. So it was I'm very familiar with the game, but let's put it that way. And then it has this nice sort of thriller angle to it. Sounded quite interesting. Anyway, so there is that one. Then we have these little ones here. This is Oscar Wilde. Okay, now I love Oscar Wilde. One of my all-time favourite books is The Picture of Dorian Gray. Okay, but I have yet to read some of his other stuff. I mean, he didn't write that much, but I definitely want to read some of his other stuff anyway. So, The Canterville Ghost. I have read versions of this. I remember reading it for school and stuff. I've read it to my kids, I think, but I'm not sure. I'd like to reread it anyway. So there's that, and then we've got Lord Arthur Savile's Crime, which I haven't read. It should be a nice quick read because, as you can see, it's quite brief, but I thought that could be good. And then the other one was the Jane Poems by Larry D. Griffin. Now, I know absolutely nothing about this, although it does have a card in it for Larry D. Griffin. So I suppose I could always, reach out and contact him afterwards. But it's quite cute. It's a book of poetry, and I haven't read much poetry recently, so I thought that could be quite cool. So there we go. That is my book haul, and like I said, this is really cool because this is completely free. So yeah, pretty awesome. I would definitely be going back. I have some books which I want to take there to leave, obviously in the library, because you take books and you leave books for the other people. So I have not in English language, because the English language ones I tend to like to keep for my own collection, but I do have some in Italian which I'm not likely to reread, so I will probably take those to free up some space. I think the kids, like teenagers now, but my kids, they have some books as well in their shelves which they've sort of outgrown. So I doubt that they will be rereading those either. So I will probably take those down as well and leave them on the shelves in there. So I should probably have like a bag worth of stuff. So when I take our books, which I want to leave there, I will have a look and see if there is any other English language books, because I might get lucky again. It would be really awesome. Because English language books are so hard to like come across here, because I mean you can find like the most mainstream bestsellers you can find in most of the bigger chain bookstores here, although they tend to be very expensive, but you can find them in English language. In the second-hand bookstores, I have found some really good books in English language in the second-hand bookstores, but again, the choice is very slim. There doesn't tend to be very many of them, but so they're always a nice find. But this place is really good because it's like one of those free little libraries, apart from it's actually like a store. It's a big space because there's a lot of closed stores in this shopping centre. A lot of them have shut things through COVID and things like that. So instead of just keeping them all shut, they've decided to open one of them as this library drop point for people, so you can leave the books that you don't need anymore and pick up a couple that you do want to read. So yes, I would definitely be going back there, and hopefully we'll have another book haul to show you in the very near future from there. So anyway, questions for you. Do you have a free little library anywhere near where you live? Or do you have you ever come across one of these free bigger libraries that where you can leave books and take books that you want from it for your own collection? If you have, be interesting to hear from you where you live. I mean, obviously I'm in Rome, but you know, it would be interesting just to get an idea of where these kind of initiatives are happening and stuff as well. It would be pretty cool. Also, how easy is it for you to find English language books if you're like me and you live in a country where English is not the first language? I would be interested to hear from you as well on it. Have you read any of the books that I've mentioned in this video, and what did you think of them? Let me know without spoilers, please, down in the comments section below. And that's it for this video. Please click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to click for notifications too, so you don't miss out on any of the new uploads. And I will see you next time. Bye.